Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing World of Warships Legends. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and salutations. Today, the story. Let's get to it. Now, every match in World of Warships Legends is like a story, even if that story is short and horrible. It would go something like this. I was there, waiting on the front line, waiting for the general to give the order to charge. The order was given, and I started off, and I realized that I needed to get to cover. I was in the middle of the formation, and there was nothing for miles around. And as I was running to cover, I was spotted by the enemy units. And then all of a sudden, cannons to the left of me, cannons to the right of me, cannons in front of me, lightning and thunder. And then I died. And you might say, rightly so, your storytelling needs a little bit of work. It had nice, even poetic license, but ultimately, you died like some literary foil, and B, it was way too short. There was really no conflict, no struggle, no real story to be told. So every match in World of Warships is a story, even if it's not a very good one. So this even more so as we get into the story of this match. So I started off and I said, you know what, I'm going to take a little bit of an angle, but basically go straight into it. So I'm just going to charge in, charge the enemy, and see what happens. So I go in, and I don't see anyone for a while, and I don't get seen for a little while, and then all of a sudden I get seen, and I start seeing other enemy ships. Start firing at the enemy ships. Enemy ships are firing back. There's volleys going back and forth and back, and the ships are not behaving the way I expected them to. I expected them to more or less charge directly at me, and instead they were kind of running away and then turning back around and shooting and then turning back and running away some more. Every so often you would see torpedoes coming, and it would just kind of go back and forth with that. I would continue to try to close the distance, and I would, albeit very slowly. And I would slowly gain on them, and I would slowly get some of the health off of the ships. And it was just a very slow progression in the fight where I would, make up, half a kilometer maybe, or a quarter of a kilometer. And they would just keep pelting me, just keep raining down fire on top of my ship. And as a, Russian or Soviet battleship, you only have so many damage control parties. So once you use one, that takes one off, and you have one less to use. So if you, get hit with fire, if you get hit with flooding or incapacitated or, a engine malfunction, you have to carefully choose your battles and when you're going to use that consumable and when you're going to save it. So I kept going, and I got a little bit closer and a little bit closer, and as I'm doing that, my health keeps going down a little bit more, and I would catch on fire, and I would put it out, and then I would catch on fire again, and then I would wait, and then I would put it out. And it was right around the time that the one ship rounded the bend around an island that I said, man, this AI is really good. They're not behaving at all like I expected them to. And then the realization hit that this was not a versus AI, but a standard match. In the heat of the battle, in the heat of the moment, you don't necessarily notice little things like um, the names of the players on the other team, or if you're not really paying attention, you may already be in standard or versus AI, and you don't realize that's the match you're going into. You know what match you thought you were going into, but it's not the match that you end up in. Now, one little side note with this little story that I'm telling. If you notice, I was the only battleship in that grouping of ships. So at any point in time, any of the other cruisers could have taken the lead. They could have led the charge, but they didn't. And so I think that tells you where this match was headed, basically from the beginning. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check us out on social media, and thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll see you next time.